when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.
STAKK Nation, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Brazen.
And your boy Double O
Double O,
champion.
how you doing today, sir?
Hey, beautiful morning, man. Beautiful morning. Let's
It
do
is a
it.
beautiful morning. Yes, top of the week, man. Monday. Let's jump into this thing. Ethereum. Check this out. So the merge, right? The merge is Ethereum's chance to take over Bitcoin, a researcher says. Okay, now I want to point out that this article is from a serious Ethereum researcher, right? You gotta always make sure you pin your credibility in there. So let's jump in. This article is from Ed Felton, right? Wrote for Cointelegraph, the future of money. Okay. Now check this out. Ethereum's imminent transition to proof of stake consensus mechanism will transform its monetary policy, the article says, potentially making ETH more scarce than Bitcoin. Incredible. Now, Ethereum researcher Vivek Raman is convinced that Ethereum's upcoming transition to proof of stake will enable it to take over Bitcoin's position as the most prominent cryptocurrency. Ethereum does have just from an economic perspective, and because of the effect of the supply shock, a chance to flip Bitcoin, this researcher says. Now, here's the part that is really interesting on this article here. After the merge, Ethereum will have lower inflation than Bitcoin. Especially with fee burns, Ethereum will be deflationary, while Bitcoin will always be inflationary. Although with every halving, the inflation rate goes down, pointed out Raman. I mean, that is nice word manipulation there. What do you think, sir?
All right. So there's been this conversation ever since we've gotten into this space. There's been this conversation about Ethereum flipping Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And the question I've always asked is, what's Bitcoin's objective and what's Ethereum's objective?
Yeah.
So when I read stuff like this, I know there are folks out there that are major Ethereum investors or that are really big into the Ethereum space. Was it is it not Michael Saylor? What's the other name of the other guy that is like knee deep into Ethereum?
Is it the Real Vision people?
Yeah, Real Vision guy, right?
Yeah.
And there's this old talk about during this recent times, this recent little bear market run that Ethereum went up 27%, but Bitcoin only went up 80%, and that's all because of this new switch to proof of stake.
Yeah.
Like, y'all don't understand the background infrastructure of Ethereum and the background infrastructure of Bitcoin, because if you did, you wouldn't be talking this mess. Ethereum is on its all new agenda. And it's not real money because it's made up money controlled by a specific person. Also controlled by the folks that you're trying to run away from. Why do you think Ethereum got us for $8 million to start Ethereum?
Absolutely.
Look into the chairman and the investors of the World Economic Forum, and you will know why they're pushing Ethereum. And you think, you have cryptocurrencies to get away from the control of the feds, and you want to have your freedom with your own money. You're not gonna get that with Ethereum. You're basically going back to the same old to the same old system, but this time around they have better control of you.
Exactly.
Versus Bitcoin.
Might also be in a CBDC situation, right?
It is.
That's what
it
I
is.
think.
How do you know if they're not using Ethereum code for the CBDCs?
Well, here's the thing, okay? You have Ethereum and you have Bitcoin, right? It is very clear that one of them was designed right from the get-go. Bitcoin has been functioning the same way from day one, right?
Yep.
And you see that everything that is around Bitcoin eventually has to like bend, essentially, to fit into the Bitcoin path. Meanwhile, with Ethereum, you have people changing the thing to fit what it is they're trying to achieve. You see what I'm saying?
As a matter of fact, Ethereum came from Bitcoin.
Exactly. So for someone to create something and disappear, and today it is still very relevant, and today you're still trying to beat that thing, it says something. Now, let me jump back to this thing here. It says after the merge, right? Ethereum will always be deflationary while Bitcoin will always be inflationary. Right now, Bitcoin is not inflationary. Let's get that
Not
straight.
at all. Yep.
It is a fixed supply. They do not even know what how much of a supply they wanted. And the worst part is, with this whole thing, the gas fees will still be there. Now, I saw a one certain person from a VC fund write about Ethereum, and he was saying, Ethereum is not going to go anywhere, and think
The
about the
gas is
fact
not
that
going
so many
anywhere.
people are using Ethereum. Yeah,
Hmm.
well, rich people deciding to spend $1,500 or $40 to make a freaking $40 transaction is not the reality. We're in a recession, bro. People don't have that kind of money.
Hmm.
There is no point in time where I think that it's going to be reasonable to spend $40 to carry out a transaction that is not of, what I mean, where the transaction is probably not worth it. If you're making $100 transaction and gas fees is $40, it will never make sense.
So what's the benefit if you're saying you're getting off the SWIFT system or the banking system and
Okay.
you want to complain about that transaction, but you're going to Ethereum
Exactly.
and it's the same thing?
So look, man, it's unfortunate because this situation, they're taking advantage of people who are not informed on the situation. Now, this Mr. Ethereum researcher here, I would like him to kind of dig deeper into this situation, because now here's the other thing, right? He goes on to say, what does he say here? He goes on to say, while Bitcoin retains its function as digital gold, according to Raman, Ethereum will still have a larger adoption space as the base layer of the decentralized finance economy. Look, when it comes to DeFi, okay, we get it. Um, I mean, it's controlled by people. It's not decentralized finance. They need to call it something else, right? CFI or something.
Yeah.
But the idea that they're calling it decentral, it's not decentralized finance. And we're yet to see this merge actually happen, because all we see is articles. Another point before I end here. If Ethereum is so different, right? And this thing that is about to dominate Bitcoin and doing its own thing, can we see it decouple from Bitcoin already? Because right now the thing does not seem to want to move in any other direction than the direction Bitcoin is going into.
Hmm.
So it should decouple from Bitcoin then, if so many people want it, right?
Hmm.
And it will probably be blasting away, and all of us Bitcoiners are going to be hanging back here like losers.
Hmm.
This is insanity, and really misdirecting. That's all I got.
Yeah.
Right.
Why doesn't Ethereum make its own bullish move by itself? Right?
Man, what a time to be living in, man. Yeah. Any final thoughts, sir?
I'll, I think it all goes back to understanding the basics, man.
Right.
Bitcoin, every single attempt to make Bitcoin something else has resulted into all this other crap like Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Gold, Bitcoin blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Bitcoin is Bitcoin, and it remains that way. Anything that goes on with Bitcoin is either on the layer 2 or on the other different layers, which is just
Yeah.
trying to make it a little bit more efficient. But the whole ideology, the whole architecture is permanent, it works.
Right.
Ethereum, on the other end, the developer of Ethereum was actually a Bitcoin developer at some point. But it got an idea and then got investors involved. Just understand, your Ethereum money is not your money. It's major banks behind that money, and of course you can make money in it. A lot of people are focused on the making money aspect, but you
Yeah.
also have to understand it's not about making money, because if you're making money and you're a fucking servant, excuse my French, you're always going to be a servant of the system. So you're still stuck in the same system. We're trying to say
Yeah.
let's find a way out of the system. Let's find a better way out of the
Hey,
system.
listen, man. Not everybody is going to make it, and that's fine. We'll be praying for them. You know.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, do not forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. We really appreciate you guys. Until next time, Brazen out.
Double O.